Iraq economic news and points to ponder Sunday afternoon, the 10th of November 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Iyad Alawi and Salim al-Habori stress the importance of supporting al-Sudani's government in implementing the required reforms. Sunday, the 10th of November 2024. Politics. Number of readings, 47. Baghdad, Nina, the leader of the National Coalition, Dr. Iyad Alawi, received in his office in Baghdad today, Sunday, Dr. Salim al-Habori, where an extensive discussion took place during the meeting on the current situation and the challenges facing Iraq at the current stage, especially in terms of enhancing security and stability. According to a statement by Alawi's office, the meeting witnessed an exchange of views on preparations for the upcoming elections, and the emphasis on the need for them to be held in a fair and transparent atmosphere that ensures true representation of the will of the citizens and contributes to bringing about tangible positive change in the political and administrative reality of the country. The two sides also agreed on the importance of supporting the government of Mohammed Shia al-Sudani in implementing the required reforms, as it is an essential step to address the political and administrative situation and correct paths in a way that enhances and achieves the aspirations of the Iraqi people. Labor and the World Bank discuss developing and updating the electronic systems of the Social Protection Authority. Sunday, the 10th of November 2024. Economic. Number of readings, 411. Baghdad, Nina, the head of the Social Protection Authority at the Ministry of Labor, Ahmed al-Musawi, discussed with the World Bank delegation the executive procedures for the bank's grant program to provide electronic devices to the authority. Al-Musawi explained, the meeting included discussing the plan to distribute electronic devices among the computer divisions in the social protection departments in Baghdad and the governorates, noting that this step comes within the framework of the authority's interest in developing and modernizing systems and special equipment to contribute to developing performance and integrating work with its departments. He added, the grant includes supporting social researchers and providing them with tablet devices to ensure speed in conducting field surveys and updating data. Al-Sudani's office reveals details of a meeting regarding the restructuring of public companies. The 11th of October 2024. Mawazin News. Baghdad Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani held a regular meeting of the Supreme Committee for the Restructuring of State-Owned Public Companies today, Sunday. A statement from his office received by Mawazin News stated that Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani chaired today, Sunday, the regular meeting of the Supreme Committee for the Restructuring of State-Owned Public Companies, in the presence of the Ministers of Oil, Electricity, Transport, Trade, Construction, Housing and Public Municipalities, Agriculture, Water Resources, and Communications. The statement continued, the meeting discussed the procedures and steps taken by the concerned authorities in light of previous decisions, as well as discussing the file of public companies offered for liquidation and their liquidation mechanisms and the decisions supporting this process, and deliberating on the re-merger of a number of companies of the Ministry of Trade, in addition to discussing the reclassification of a number of companies of the Ministry of Water Resources. He added, during the meeting, the progress made in restructuring the companies, Hammurabi, Asher, Al-Fau, and Al-Farouk, affiliated to the Ministry of Construction, Housing, Municipalities and Public Works were reviewed. The statement added, the meeting witnessed the approval of the minutes and recommendations of the second meeting of the subcommittee concerned with supervising the process of classifying companies according to the categories stipulated in Decision No. 1 of 2024 of the State-Owned Public Companies Restructuring Committee. Expanding banking services and a call to protect beneficiaries from falling into the trap of usury. November 10, 2024. Baghdad. Qusay Munthar. Economic experts called on the government to intervene and set controls to ensure that excessive interest rates that affect the neediest groups are reduced, and to provide flexible banking alternatives that comply with Sharia conditions. The experts told Al-Zaman yesterday that the government is required, in light of the reforms it is carrying out in the banking sector, to urge these parties to reconsider the high interest on granting loans, as it constitutes an additional burden on those with limited income, in addition to the fact that despite the pressures that force them to apply for it, it pushes them to fall into Sharia warnings. They added that religious scholars stress the need to take into account Islamic Sharia in financial transactions, which rejects patterns of usurious interest that are characterized by excessive increase in loans. Previous invitation. Al-Zaman had previously called on the government regarding the high usurious interest rates imposed by banks, calling for the need to take measures to ease the financial burdens on citizens and ensure that these rates are consistent with Islamic teachings, which contributes to protecting different social classes from falling into the trap of usury. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani directed the expansion of banking services in the governorates. A statement received by Al-Zaman yesterday said that al-Sudani directed a set of steps within the framework of efforts to reform the financial and banking system as one of the priorities of the government program, and in light of the important steps achieved during the past 2 years. And in light of the challenges that the financial and banking system is witnessing, especially in the governorates. And since confronting them requires greater attention and radical improvements to ensure enhancing confidence in the financial and banking sectors, facilitating the process of economic development, increasing financial inclusion and raising its indicators throughout the country. And he stressed, increasing the number of bank branches in the governorates to meet the needs of the local population, and in a way that contributes to expanding the scope of financial services, while paying attention to buildings and their modernity and providing their basic requirements. Calling for the necessity for all banks in the governorates to adopt modern technologies such as online banking services and mobile applications, which facilitate citizens' access to their banking services easily. Reiterating the importance of banks developing their financial services in a manner that suits the needs of individuals and small companies, such as soft loans and savings accounts. In addition to enhancing financial inclusion in the governorates by providing banking services to different segments of society, including districts and sub-districts in villages and rural areas, and pointed out that the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank of Iraq, and the Iraqi Private and Islamic Banks Associations will undertake coordination operations with the governor's offices to accomplish the above tasks according to their jurisdiction and responsibility, and submit quarterly reports every 3 months to the Prime Minister's office regarding the progress of work regarding the steps mentioned above. For its part, Rafadain Bank announced the expansion of the comprehensive banking system to include 48 branches. Infrastructure. The bank explained in a statement received by Al-Zaman yesterday that, as part of its continuous efforts to enhance the digital infrastructure and provide distinguished banking services, we announced the operation of 48 branches within the comprehensive banking system, which reflects its commitment to updating its services according to the highest international standards, and continued that this development comes as part of the bank's strategy to improve the customer experience across all its branches and facilitate access to integrated, fast and secure banking services. Noting that, the comprehensive banking system is a qualitative shift in the bank's path, as it supports digital transformation and enhances the bank's ability to efficiently meet the needs of wide segments of customers. And the statement went on to say that, this continuous expansion will include more branches in the future, as part of a well-thought-out plan aimed at providing a modern banking experience that contributes to supporting the national economy and meeting the needs of society with distinguished and comprehensive banking services. Gold prices stabilize in Baghdad and Erbil. Sunday, the 10th of November 2024, 11:38. Economic number of readings: 166. Baghdad, Nina. Gold prices stabilized today, Sunday, in the local markets of the capital, Baghdad, and Erbil. The price of gold in the wholesale markets on Al-Nawar Street in the capital, Baghdad, this morning, reached 566,000 dinars per mithqal of 21-karat Gulf, Turkish and European gold, and 562,000 dinars for purchase, while the selling price of 1 mithqal of 21-karat Iraqi gold reached 536,000 dinars, and the purchase price was 532,000. As for gold prices in goldsmiths' shops, the selling price of a mithqal of 21-karat Gulf gold ranged between 570,000 dinars and 580,000, while the selling price of a mithqal of Iraqi gold ranged between 540,000 and 555,000 dinars. As for gold prices in Erbil, the selling price of 24-karat gold reached 662,000 dinars, 21 carat 580,000 dinars, and 18 carat 497,000 dinars. Dollar prices rise slightly as markets close in Baghdad and Erbil. Economy, the 11th of October 2024 Mawazin News, Baghdad. The US dollar rose slightly against the Iraqi dinar on Sunday in the markets of Baghdad and Erbil, the capital of the Kurdistan region, with the closing of the stock exchange. The dollar rose with the closing of the two main stock exchanges in Baghdad, Al-Kifa and Al-Harithia, to record 150,600 dinars per $100, while this morning it recorded 150,500 dinars per $100. The selling prices stabilized in exchange shops in the local markets in Baghdad, where the selling price reached 151,500 dinars per $100, while the purchase price reached 150,500 dinars per $100. In Erbil, the dollar also rose, where the selling price reached 150,600 dinars per $100, and the purchase price reached 150,500 dinars per $100. Planning sets date for announcing preliminary and final census results. Local, the 11th of October 2024 Mawazin News, Baghdad. The Ministry of Planning announced today, Sunday, that it will support the population census with 100 special scientific blogs. While indicating that the census is not political, but rather developmental to determine the poverty line in Iraq, it confirmed that the final results of the census will be announced within 6 weeks. The Administrative Undersecretary of the Ministry of Planning, Hana al-Asadi, said during the press conference, Mawazin News, that the census is for Iraq and not for planning, and has not seen the light for a long time due to major challenges, but Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and the Minister of Planning insisted on completing the process. She added, "We started the process of enumeration and numbering and there were challenges, but with the efforts of the members of the Statistics Authority and their keenness, the process was completed successfully through communication with the governors, noting that, we are waiting for the 20th and 21st of this month, which is the biggest challenge." She explained that, the population census, due to what it entails, is a database for developing correct plans and visions, indicating that, the plan is to include projects according to the needs of each governorate. She pointed out that, the issue of fear of giving correct information to mobile teams is incorrect because through them the requirements of each region and the economic classes of society will be measured and known. Meaning inferring the citizens living below the poverty line and the residents of slums, to develop correct plans to include projects that serve their interests even if they are implemented after 15 years. She noted that, the census is not political and that the candidates for election are determined based on the census to serve the citizens. And the data will be analyzed by specialists within the statisticians and sorted according to the paragraphs and then go to the Department of Economic Policies within the Ministry of Planning, which in turn will develop an appropriate plan in line with the population census through data on the number of the poor and disabled, the number of displaced persons, the number of hospitals, schools and educational centers, in addition to people with special needs, for the purpose of including projects that are consistent with the needs of the population, while linking the private sector to the census as a partner with the state and including investors and contractors. Regarding the devices used in the census process, al-Asadi confirmed that, according to the directives of the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Planning and within the general controls, which are instructions for implementing contracts, several companies have applied in addition to the consulting company that evaluates the best companies and contracts have been signed. So far, there has been no hesitation on the part of those companies, and they have been a great help despite the fact that they are in exchange for a financial return, in addition to the Housing Bank, which provided a special consultant within the Statistics Authority. Regarding social care, al-Asadi noted that, our goal is not to cut salaries for anyone, but we want to know the level of poverty in Iraq and the number of graduates and unemployed. For his part, the Executive Director General of the Census, Ali Adnan Saleh, said in a statement to the official agency, followed by NRT Arabic, that, the first phase of the census has been completed, and the most important is the stage of packaging, enumeration and numbering. Adding that, the required documents are in partnership with the National Card, as they have been completed for 94% of the population, and those who do not have an official document. There is a field in which there are those who do not have documents, so the information of the people is relied upon, and after that this information is transferred to the Unified Card Department to match the information. And the initial results of the census will be announced during the first days, and after 6 weeks the final announcement will be made officially. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.